And Sargent, Matt Cunningham, and Robert Neguet going to be on row number 2. Sheldon Cooper, Chad Matos on row 3. That's P5 and 6 for the 89 and the 6 machine. And then all the way at the back, the lonesome car on row number 4, the number 93 of Neil Schneider.
I hear an accent. Is that because you had some dental work, or where are you from? I hear some accent.
Canada originally.
Ah,
and my Canadian friends will tell you it's an American accent. The American friends will tell you it's a Canadian accent.
Gotcha. Well, the rivalries are just now starting here on Low Budget TV. And here we go. Heat race number 1 for the Super Stocks. We go green.
First to 10 laps, and it's a good jump for Bolster Kano. He'll lead to turn number 1, and we'll go single file for the top 2 spots. Battle going to maintain for 3rd. Inside of the racetrack, advantage for Cunningham.
I can sense you've done some announcing before.
Once or twice.
Now let's talk about your announcing background. So for the viewers on Low Budget TV that are used to Jeffrey Best and I, Tommy Mason, announcing, Jeffrey's actually out of town. Why is he out of town? To be honest, I think he picked the wrong weekend to leave, but I brought in Evan, local resident and a good friend that we meet up with him throughout the winter time. And so what is your announcing career background?
Not real cars, virtual cars, and it's fun because the Bullring here is actually one of the latest additions to iRacing. I know a lot of people who race at a Bullring, and even race fans love it. And for the last couple of years, including the last 2 years, I've been doing the play-by-play stuff for the NASCAR PK Difference Series, so that's always fun. And there's no wind, by the way, when we're doing that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna buy you an industrial fan. One of those big ones that you see in like the automotive shops.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna have you plug that in when you do cover events at the Bullring, just for old time's sake.
Well, it's going to add to realism. iRacing has dynamic tracks, so obviously the next step up for us is to get the wind and duct tape the microphone down and all that good stuff. That's how we're still hanging tough up here.
I think you're also missing the figure 8 racing too.
This is true.
Well, your leader right now, he's gapped over second spot, but second battle seems to be picking up here.
Yeah, Sargent's got the spot, and again, it was Cunningham at an 18 machine who started inside of row 2. He was able to safely slide into that. He is keeping the pressure on that bright yellow number 48 machine right now, who runs in a number 2 spot. They do have a relatively okay gap, I would say, back to the battle 4th and 5th. That one is definitely on for sure, so we've got 2 fights right there. None of it for the race lead, though. That number 11 machine, O'Connell, definitely way out in front early. Working lap number now 7 and 10.
Closing in 3 to go in this first Superstock heat race. Always a pleasure to be out here at the Bullring. I believe this is our usual once-a-year stop. I was out here earlier this year for some local racing and some legend car qualifiers, and that was exciting. I got to see some big rig racing and skid plate racing and all the local stuff, but this is definitely the Bullring's. I will argue this is their biggest event of the year because we get to see the most travelers here come to Vegas.
And you're not going to find an objection from me on that one. You're watching the battle for P4. Schneider gets the upper hand, but as the white flag flies, all eyes up at the front of the field. Connell, just such a great run. Started this one from pole position, and with a comfortable gap at turn number 4, take it easy, checkered flag, and heat race number 1.
So that was a pretty calm heat race. No major issues. I don't even think we had a car touch another. But that's not going to be the case throughout the entire weekend.
Now, these guys taking it easy, I think, early on. Just a quick 3-minute heat race, 10 laps, no problem, top to bottom. You got Sargent right there in second, and Cunningham coming across the line in third, and everybody else so on and so forth to round out the field here. But I think the 11 machine's going to be feeling pretty good, not only for tonight, get the job done right out of the gate, but also looking into tomorrow, because we did see challenges, as you saw, for second challenges as well, a little bit further back for 4th position. But the way that I would almost argue non-existent battle for the race lead was that the 11 machine O'Connell really had this one in the bag. Just continue it on through. You had Schneider come home in P4, and then the 72 of Robert Neguet in 5th. Sheldon Cooper was in P6, and it was Chad Matos at the bottom of the racetrack to round things out top to bottom in the opening of our heat races. As the field begins to roll on the back straightaway, they'll catch up to the pace car. Heat race 2 coming up, same format, 10 laps to determine where they'll start tomorrow night. So So as the field rolls at a turn number 4, qualifying order for heat race number 2. Pole position in this one goes to the 43 of Justin Kizzer, with the number 38 of Johnny Spilatro rolling off in the number 2 spot. That's the silver number 38 machine. Howard Holden get to start tonight third in the number 41, with Kevin James is number 83 machine on the outside of road to P4. And then as the field gets ready to go, the guys in the back row in this one, the 77 of Michael Nix will start P5, and the 13X of Jim Merlino at the back rounds out your 6-car field for this second of our heat races. First one had 7 cars, this one 6 even rows for 1 through 3.
I'm going to show you these cars once I get my headset.
There we go.
There we go. Sorry about that. Yes, as you were saying, we got another 2, 4, 6-car heat race if you want to exclude the Toyota Camry on the pole.
I mean, I don't know if the Camry could hang tough. I'm not going to say no.
Will definitely be the most fuel-efficient car out here.
Not sure if it'll help on 10 laps.
With all these dinosaurs on the racetrack. So yeah, Super Stocks, Evan, I mean, this class has put on some crazy main events. That's all going to happen tomorrow night. You know, what I'm looking forward to out of these cars, we got like Mike Nix in the 77. He's a traveler from Bakersfield, Kern County Racing Park, and all the other local drivers that have come out here. You're going to see some heavy-duty competition this weekend with the Super Stocks.
And just as the first one, it is a 10-lap heat race as the green flag flies and we get underway. Challenge for the race lead right off of the bat. Spilatro outside. He's going to be able to get it in that silver number 38 machine. Slot in front of Kidzer. Battle behind is going to be for third position between the 83 of James as well. Working through the 77 machine of Nix, picking up a spot.
I believe that's Kaiser in the 49. That's how you pronounce it, at least from what I've been told. Though everything on Low Budget TV is officially unofficial.
And the scoring, by the way, that we're looking at also says it's unofficial. So.
Okay.
Your eyes are the best targeted scoring that you can get, and it is easy to tell that it is that 38 machine out in front. But we're not seeing the race leader pull away in this second heat like we saw in that first one. You do have that 43 of Kaiser right on the bumper there, and even Holden and Nix in third and fourth. They're kind of footed amongst themselves. Not that far off of the battle for the race lead. If they want to agree to disagree for a moment, maybe they can get up there as well. But the top 4 definitely putting the heat on the guys P5 and 6, so we'll drop it back.
Mike Nix, so for the ones that don't know that are watching from all over the world, Mike Nix is a competitor at a track a lot larger than this one. I call it a 5/8, but it's promoted as a half mile. It's a big Kern County Raceway Park in Bakersfield, and this driver is used to the speed. He gets to drive a D-shaped on a 3/8 mile setting. So, and you see the battle for third. Nix is trying. He's taking a look to the inside of the 41. And honestly, at some parts of this track, the battle for a third closes in on the battle for the second spot in the lead.
Yeah, Holden's kind of in a tricky spot right now because that 77's obviously following. We are to the battle for 5th right now. James in the 83 and Merlino in the 13X. The 13X going to pick up a spot. Started in P6 at the back, and he goes +1 on this one. And those guys, I have a feeling, are going to be stuck together just like our top 4 are. But for Holden right now, he's got to decide, is he going to focus on Kaiser in front of him, try to be able to get up there to the battle for first and second, or is Nix being all over his bumper going to kind of distract him? So I'm not sure we're quite yet in a 4-way battle for the race lead, but the 41 wants to make it interesting up front.
Very true, and I see Kaiser starting to take a look there on the 38. He was taking a peek out of turn number 4. He looked a lot closer than I thought. So I'm going to go back to this 83. James in the number 83, we were at Orange Show Speedway 2 weeks ago, and he said that he would be at this very track at this very time. He races, for comparison, we talked about a half mile. This gentleman in the number 83 machine runs a quarter mile in San Bernardino, California, Orange Show Speedway.
Final time this time, but at turn 4, and it is going to be Spilatro qualified to P2, but he will take the checkered flag and basically lead top to bottom all 10 laps in favor of the driver of the number 38 machine. Again, a lot more competitive, I'd say, in that second heat race. If this thing went on for any more than 10 laps, if it was the main event tomorrow night, it would have been a good one because you had Kaiser hold the Nix all right there, 2, 3, and 4 at the result of this one. And then obviously we were keeping it on the battle behind. Merlino was able to maintain P5, and James in the 83 rounds through the top 6 in this one. So
something fun on Low Budget TV. You know how we always kind of get by with the skin of our teeth. So all day I was setting up this front stereo camera, and I mean literally all day. Legends Nation TV was here last week covering the Legend Car Nationals, and all day I had set up a speed shot camera, which now I have to go fix because it looks like when I had set it up, we use this camera literally every single weekend all over Southern California, and it looks like the one button I touched or something that I did wrong ended up getting us to try to sell all of you viewers a Sony video camera.
I'd blame it on the wind.
You know, that's not out of the question.
Sand. Blame it on sand.
We could blame, the sandy wind.
We
Maybe we just call the wind sandy.
Yeah, if we really need, we can find a scapegoat. We can make it happen.
Well, there you go. There's a cheat. We are using a Sony HDR CX150. I would go run down there. This is what the shot should look like. But the problem is, if I run down there, they'll have to red flag the race. So I'll make it a promise to you folks, when there is an opportunity, hopefully during a interview or something, when the track is, of course, clear like it is right now, I will be sure to fix that for all of you. It's a new addition. None of you knew about it until just now, and I screwed it up for you.
Well, and because they know what kind of camera we're using, you did tell them about the quiz at the end. We're going to be testing people on all these stats.
No problem. Yeah, we'll quiz them.
How many pieces of duct tape we're using to keep that going, what kind of camera we're on.
That is a good question, because technically up here there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's just on the monitor.
Yeah, just the monitor.
Then we got another probably 2 or 3 rolls here. I don't want to give all the answers away, but our schedule is also taped down to our table. So again, thank you all for tuning in with us live all weekend long here at the Bullring. We're going to have some fun here on the 38 Smile.
I think they're talking about us over the PA system.
Good or bad things?
I am not sure. We can go. Tower's just right there. We can flag them down.
We could. I mean, technically, as long as they're talking, it's good publicity, or bad, but either way, it's publicity.
Any publicity is good publicity. I've heard people say that.
So on our schedule, what should be next? It says racing starts at 6. We've already started racing super stocks.
USACs midgets coming up next.
So we're waiting on the midgets to fire up, which they do have starters. So wonder what the issue is.
And then they will be followed according to the schedule.
Look at this. Must be the life. So Jeffrey leaves to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, home of the Milwaukee Mile and cheese curds, right?
Yep.
Now, if you look at this photo here that we just got messaged to us from Joe Morganti, who is with Jeffrey, it looks like they're comfortably sitting down without wind.
You're up. Yep.
There's not. I mean, the curtains in the photo are.
It's nice and warm in there. Warm colors.
Yeah. At some hotel, and a laptop is out, and they are watching tonight's coverage of the Fall Classic. Must be nice over there. But hey, you know what? We're here, and they're not. It's weird typing sideways. Alrighty, I'll give you back timing and scoring. Be right there and there.
Beautiful. So cars are on track, and we're going to get set for another heat race. This one going to be clocking in at just 8 laps, so just a little bit shorter than what you saw just before this one with the Super Stocks. But we do have pole position in this one belonging to the number 80 machine of Tony Breidinger. Breidinger. It's a long name.
Yeah, it is.
I like the easy ones like Jesse Love. 38 rolls off P2. 5 cars total in this one. You're going to look back to row number 2, the number 75 of Annie.
Breidinger
in the number 3 spot, joined by Johnny Nichols outside the number 14. We'll start from P4, and as the lights go out on top of the pace car, it is Tyler Slay all the way at the back. The 26B will roll from P5.
You see this camera acting funny. Not only is it the user, me, but the wind is not playing any favorites. I think the field's ready to pass the pace car and get to racing.
Yeah, they're ready to go. Pace car is just now going to drop off. They got rid of that pit road wall here a year or two ago, and pace car finally going to drop down at it, and the field is going to be in the hands of the number 80 machine as we go green into turn number 4, first of 8 laps.
These cars are fast here. They're open wheel. We do not want to use those wheels, and I see the caution has come back out. False start.
Yeah, they did not like that one, and I don't think it necessarily had to do with the pace car in 3. I don't think they liked the order at a turn number 4. It did catch me off a little bit as maybe an early start, so they'll line them back up, and we'll give it another go. So
here's
not green yet.
Here's a flag man over here on top of the start-finish line. He's going to wave his
That means
sticks.
something, I assume.
Yep, I think he's just trying to challenge people to a saber duel.
Joust or something.
Yeah. Talk about being in a position of power. This guy can scold drivers. He can praise drivers with at least the first one to come to the checkered flag. He can also slow them down. But the one thing that he cannot do, which is pretty rare at a lot of racetracks, is he cannot turn on the lights through green, red, and yellows. Here at the Bullring, there's no switches for the flagman. So he's completely focused on flagging.
And it looks like it might be a small delay before we get going for these 8 laps, because there is one car stopped out in turn number 3. You can see the safety team has made their way over there with the tow truck in case that car's not able to get going, and they'll give it a push to see if it'll get off and away. Again, the 38 was scheduled to start second in this one, and right now he's getting some assistance through turn number 4. Never a good sight to start off your night.
No.
Guys behind him want to go green. They're double up.
Yeah, they're
Tow trucks
patiently
in the
waiting.
way.
Jesse Love, a competitor that we've seen win on asphalt here at the Bullring, and win on dirt and Southern California tracks like Kern County Raceway dirt track, and he's competed at Bakersfield Speedway on that dirt track. We've seen him also. I think we've seen them race other dirt tracks, and as well as Madera and the likes. So pretty cool thing for these midgets is they can swap out, put on the dirt tires to go racing, put on the slicks, and come racing here on asphalt. Jesse Love, by the way, is going to be doing double duty this weekend because we have the junior late models, and he's been a star in that series up in Madera Speedway as well.
And there's tons of series here, and obviously tonight we're going to have multiple heats as we get set to qualify everybody. But if you're with us tonight, I assume you're going to be with us tomorrow night as well, and we look forward to that. If you know somebody who is not with us tonight, make sure they're definitely going. And it looked like he was trying to get back out to get in this thing, and he's struggling once more back up in turn 3, and the lights have come back on. So I believe we're going to hold off on the green for a second as he continues to try to work around those issues. He did get pushed back to the pits. We saw that with the tow truck. He's moving again once more. So I believe we might get the one to go this time. Light's going to stay on for the moment while they think get that tow truck back in place.
We're just going to have to call him Jesse No Love because he's really holding up the show right now. That's a knee slapper.
That's good. It's early. I'll give it.
Thank you.
The bar is going to go up though as the night goes on. So
hopefully, it's as long as some bar gets used.
So getting set to go racing for 8 laps in the midgets heat race number 1, and we are back to our regularly scheduled order with the number 80 machine bringing us back to it. Green flag in the air. This one works.
They like it. I like it. We're racing, and it's going to be fun to see Jesse Love, who is already now battling for the 2nd spot. So I think we've got a fast 38 machine who's just kind of strutting the stuff for being known.
Yeah, he was supposed to start in 2nd, so it only took him about a lap to make it back up to where he was supposed to be after eventually taking a green flag from the back of the field and already closed it in up at the front of the field on Breidinger. So the top 2 looking to dance as Love is right there, only 2 laps in. He's got plenty of time to do something with it.
Oh, a little bobble out of Love in the second spot. He was starting to reel in Bradinger's number 80 machine.
Only about a car length and a half off that time. He was about equidistant, though, last time by the start-finish line, so he was able to get to him, although I promise you Bradinger's going to be a lot more difficult to get around than the drivers that he's gotten through to this point. So he's setting himself up. He's not going to have a whole ton of laps in this thing, though, to make it look pretty if he wants to make the move.
And I did say at the top of this heat race that you do not want to be using these wheels to move a competitor out of the way. We have seen the good and the bad from both here at the Bullring, funny enough. We've seen drivers kind of doing the bump and run, and if you do it just right, you can get away with it, though we've also seen those times where it doesn't work very well, and then we start looking like we're at a monster truck show.
That time by 3 laps left to go now, 2 to go, and he's still right there again. He got to the bumper about 2 laps into this thing and has kind of stalled out, and you know, you wonder if maybe he kind of woke up Brodinger as he charged up to the back of him, but not. White flag in the air this time, less than half a mile to figure it out.
It's go time here. And Love's now taking a peek.
There you go. There's the shot. We were talking about it. He went forward in turn 2, and I think it's going to drop him back far enough that he's not going to be able to get back to the back bumper. It was not unchallenged, but Tony Brodinger is going to win a midget feature, or a midget heat race, I should say, number 1. It looked like a feature the way they were going at it.
Oh, yeah.
And they say hi to each other in turn 2 after it all.
Heats don't pay much, but they mean something.
You got the 75 of Andy Brodinger coming home in 3rd in this one. Tyler Slay ends up 4th, and Johnny Nichols ends up in the number 5 spot. So I believe everybody technically finishes where they were slated to start, although, again, Love did pick up those 3 spots on the first lap.
Of the 48B, who just got back from Florida for the diversity program down there.
So we are currently waiting on the super late models to start their heat racing action.
Hey folks.
And this is the number to remember for you, Evan, and myself and all of our viewers at home. Top 3. That's the number to know for the super late model heat races. The top 8 automatically are set for tomorrow night's main event. 9th on back in the field, that's the drivers that we're going to see do the heat races. The top 3 are your transfer drivers into tomorrow night's A main event. 4th on back in those heat races will go to the B main event.
And we've been talking about calm. B mains are never calm,
Oh,
so
no.
you do not want to deal with that.
And when you got transfer battles to watch in heat racing, calm is not necessarily the word of choice if you're in 4th trying to get to 3rd.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching. Obviously, you want to win the heat race. You want to send a message to the rest of these guys, but at the end of the day, take the 2nd, take the 3rd, and as these guys get set to roll off again for their 15-lap heat race in the super late models, we'll take a look top to bottom in this one. To pole position, it goes to the 50 of Trevor Huddleston, again qualifying for this based on the overall event qualifying from earlier on in the evening. Brandon White, the number 19 machine, will start tonight in P2. John Wars 27M will start 3rd. Of the local driver, the 48V of Ryan Vargas right there, P4. Chris Trickle, another familiar name for those in the Bullring, number 70, will start from 5th, with Daryl Midgley in the number 6 spot, and Jagger Jones 7th, all on his lonesome back there on row number 4.
Now, Jagger Jones in the 55 did not make it to the track because he blew an engine in practice today, and Midgley, I have no idea where that guy is. But
He's missing top side of row 3 now there.
Yeah. So the top 3 transfer folks, that's the number to remember in these heat races, super late models. A main qualifiers are the top 3. 4th on back go to tomorrow night's B main event, where they have to fight it out to get their last chance qualifier. And right now, you're seeing a transfer battle for the third spot.
We talk about being happy with second. Even that A9 team should have Brandon White and wanted to go for the race lead. He settles into P2, and the battle for third is on with the 27M of Moore on the inside, and he will clear that 48 via Vargas for that final transfer spot. And because there's only 5 drivers in this one, with 2 of them not being able to make it out, you never want to be in the minority. If 3 drivers are moving on, you don't want to be part of the 2.
Very true. And for those of you on Facebook scrolling right now and you see some video action live right now, we are doing a live look-in feature here. Not a main event feature, but we are doing a live look-in here from the Bullring at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 2 nights of racing. This is night number 1 of 2 at the Senators Cup Fall Classic. We have 3 different viewing qualities available. High definition, that's my favorite. Standard definition, and always in between, high quality. Get your 2-day passes right now if it's if it's not too late from where you're watching. But if it is, it's okay. You can do the same thing. And join us all weekend long. Evan and I are going to be broadcasting the racing action here. We are super late model racing. These are heats for tomorrow night's 150-lap Senators Cup Fall Classic.
For those who have been with us throughout, again, we've already seen super stocks and midget heat races so far, 2 apiece, but this is the series that everybody's going to be coming for here from neighboring states, and even in this one, some folks from outside of the country trying to get into this one. And as we were saying earlier on, top 3 will be able to make it on tomorrow, which means 4th and 5th in this one, which currently is Ryan Vargas and Chris Trickle will be forced into the B-main, which is no fun. That 48 machine right there, just a couple car lights off of that number 27 Moore right now. If he wants to be able to get up there by the time we get through these 50 laps, he's going to have to figure something out because we're halfway.
And Evan, this kind of surprises me. Ryan Vargas, a competitor who's ran a full season out here, he knows his track, not here in the super late model, so maybe he's getting used to this car. And then you got Trickle, who's on the outside looking in. This name is embedded into the Bullring, and Trickle coming back to it, I believe for the first time this season. He's been kind of doing a lot of other stuff this year, and he is tail of the field, outside looking in. It's no surprise Trevor Huddleston, second in the NASCAR Wheeling All-American National Championship, who is leading, and then Moore and White, second and third, or third and second, I should say. So maybe this is proof of the competition we have, where we've got 2 drivers who are very familiar with this course on the outside looking in.
Well, the thing is, everybody as well is going to expect to be good. The guys who travel to this race from somewhere else out of state, basically the guys who aren't here week in and week out during the course of the season, they expect to win because they're putting in a lot of effort. On the flip side, you got the hometown guys, kind of their stomping ground. They expect to be able to get up and get there too. You never want somebody else to come into your house and take it from you.
Yep.
And right now you got both those cars in the back. I was watching the 19 and the 27. They were getting a little bit chippy for 2 transfer spots. So far, so good, though. White flag this time.
One more to go for Trevor Huddleston, 2017 late model champion out at Irwindale Speedway in Southern California, Los Angeles area. And looks to be picking up where he left off.
A strong run. Started up front, really didn't have much of a challenge besides the first lap. And it is going to be Huddleston taking a checkered flag at our first super late model heat on the night. Brandon White and John Moore in the 27M, second and third position. Get that ticket moving on tomorrow night. It will be Vargas and Trickle, P4 and 5, to have to deal with B-main. And of course, if Midgley and Jones are able to find themselves back in.
Now you can see those flags, Evan. Those things are blowing
Straight.
I don't know if we're looking at a picture or if we're just dealing with the wind, but it's a little bit windy here. I wonder what the forecast shows for tomorrow. Same temperatures, just not as much wind. I'll believe it when I see it. How about them apples?
Yeah, I mean, it gets windy out here. I'm not going to say that it doesn't, but today, and it's not as bad now, so, all things considered, we're doing all right. As you get a look behind us at the strip, but it has been very windy. And when it does get windy, it kind of sticks around in town for a couple of days. So it's kind of hard to predict that kind of stuff, and I'm not going to place too much faith in my Weather Channel app. We'll wait till we climb up here at the top of the grandstands, which is different if you're at the bottom of the grandstands, and we'll let you know tomorrow when the first green flag flies, how the wind's doing. That's the only time that I'm willing to commit to what it's like.
So again, folks, for those of you on lowbudget.tv, you're here with us for the weekend. For those of you scrolling through Facebook and taking a peek on what's happening, well, we are doing a live look-in. Don't expect to see this all night long. This is just a short time thing. So if you want to be with us exclusively for the rest of the weekend, www.lowbudget.tv. We got super late models, super stocks, HPD midgets. Tomorrow night we'll have the bombers. We'll also have bandoleros.
I have to say, the bombers are a lot of fun.
Yes, and they get to do their routine, the breakout races. Uh-oh. Well, it looks like Timing's scoring once they play the games on.
I did not touch it. It was not me.
Well, I could help you out with some of these drivers, and maybe not all of them. But on the pole in this one, as the lights go out, 2017 Super Late Model Champion here at the Bullring, Justin Johnson, to his outside. Maybe Kaylee Barker in the 34. And then from there, I get a little unsure. So, at least I know you're top two.
Couple of hometown folks in this one.
Yes.
Just as it was the last one, 15 laps, super late model main event. You want to be in the top 3. Green flag is in the air.
I think we got some papers behind you, Evan. Oh, and around to the 49. Keeps it off the tire barrier. The Exotics Racing sponsored machine.
Which is literally steps away from where we are.
Yes. The caution will fly for the 49. Got sideways out of turn number 4.
Parked it on the back straightaway. Early yellow at just lap number 1 of 15 into the night. So
what'd you get there? What was that letter?
We have results from heat race number 1.
Oh, well, maybe we can get the lineup names for these drivers after this race and we can fill it in.
Well, the good news is on the super lates, the numbers are nice and big on the side.
Is timing still an issue here?
We do not have any data.
Pretty crazy.
I can say, fun fact, that the fastest lap in heat race number 1 for the super lates was by eventual winner Trevor Huddleston. Put down a 14.883 in race trip. Pretty good. Only driver sub 15 second in that race. But again, as we said earlier, for those who are on Facebook and didn't hear, in qualifying, the top 22 cars all were able to qualify sub 22 seconds. So there's a lot of speed at the Bullring this weekend.
I'm impressed that this is the first heat race I've ever seen with all the drivers with the same names.
Yeah, waiting for data.
Popular name out here in Vegas.
It is. I'm not sure the ethnic background of that one, but it's pretty cool. Data, pronounce it with a silent T or something.
Yeah, maybe.
We're going to go green again and really sideways on the outside of the front row of the 38 machine. It's going to get Barker inside positioning. Not going to be able to make it stick. Safely third, though, as we'll go 3 wide for 4th. Everybody wants to be able to stay within striking distance of the final transfer spot.
It got a little crazy. The 20 machine was shaking his tires, doing a tank slapper into turn number 1.
That's what we had been waiting for. We hadn't seen a lot of that tonight, but these super late models are so much fun. And the top 2 right now pulling away by just a little bit of a good margin. It is still that 34 of Barker, I think, the one who is in the most trouble out of anybody right now. In third, so far, so good. And lap number 3, but any sort of a small mistake breaks a lot into that picture.
So you see on the left side of the screen the 34, Kaylee Barker. She is in the show. The 20 car and everybody behind are on the outside looking in. Top 3 transfer from these heat races to go directly in tomorrow night's A main event. All others will have to fight through the B main event, which will be exciting live tomorrow night on Low Budget TV.
She's in a pretty good spot right now because the excitement you're watching is for 4th, 5th, and 6th positions. One of those 3 cars, nobody getting the automatic ticket. Everybody's going to have to deal with the B main. So obviously for that 20 machine, it was a lot closer to the back of the 34 as it was 2 laps ago. Not anymore, as you can see that gap pull. So exciting stuff, though. Is a challenge going to come for P number 4, 49 machine to the inside.
This driver we saw have a ridiculously cool, what was it, a 360 camera?
Yeah,
the pit
down
area?
in the pits, 360 mounted right in the center of the car, and I believe it's not just fixated on which way you can look. You can drag that around and look all directions in that car ride. Basically, shotgun with him as he's side by side right now in a battle for fifth.
Well, Justin Johnson picking up where he left off here this year, champion of this division. And he said he had some fuel pickup issues in practice. I think he might have gotten that figured out.
I would say so, and issues on the back. The 49 has gone around the same spot. Center of the back straightaway, stopped right there on that yellow line. The official is thinking about it, but so far so good as we stay green. Closing in on this time by was going to be 4 laps to go, and the caution flag will fly. I think they waited to see if they could get that 49 machine rolling. Wasn't able to do so, and second time tonight, yellow's out.
So it's a windy one here. It's been that way all day. Still waiting for data, huh? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh.
Yeah, and I believe if I look top to bottom, there's only 6 drivers on track, so the fact that we have 7 of them is equally as impressive.
Hey, I think there's something going on here in the world. I think it might be something Nellis Air Force Base is testing next to us.
Like I said earlier when we were talking about the camera, I will blame the wind.
Yeah, I mean, look at this thing. It was a beautiful angled camera. Right now you're seeing how the built-in zoom mic.
I mean, you like the camera, so, I mean, you appreciate the benefits of all these features that it offers.
24 megabytes per second recording, Evan. Do you know what that means? It means that it would work if it wasn't on low-budget TV.
So the lights back out on top of the pace car. Obviously, when you're running under the caution flag, laps do not count towards the 15-lap total in these heat races. So the pace car is going to drop in this time in turn 3. We'll get set to do it again. The 17 was pretty comfortable, and I'd say the top 3 were pretty comfortable. But if you watch that battle for third, the 8 machine was doing a good job of working his way up as this race went on. Keeping down that battle for the final transfer spot. 4 to go.
All right, well, we stack them back up, Evan. Like you said, we now have a battle for the transfer spot.
Top side, got it. Go to turn 2, great run, and that 34 is still under attack because the 49 going to go to the inside of the racetrack. So not only from third, but now to 5th for Barker.
Barker, a local competitor here. Now she's on the outside looking in. And I guess you can add that to the drivers who know this track well are having to deal with the out-of-towners.
And without the yellow, again in a perfect position, was well out in front of third, and it was at the time, the car now at the back of the field. The 20 was right there on the doorstep, but that 8 machine has showed a lot of speed later in this race. I don't know, 15 laps, not really a long event. Not sure if he was saving anything or just figuring something out by watching the guys in front. But even in a position out of 8, challenge for second, continues his impressive run, but again, everybody trying to chase down, and the car up front, and next time by, going to be a white flag.
Justin Johnson run a good, clean, and very fast heat race. So he's looking to secure himself into tomorrow night's A main event. And it would not be surprising if he took the checkers tomorrow night.
And this one was good. Late race restart wasn't going to hamper him at all, and it'll be a checkered flag and win in super late heat race number 2. 17 of Johnson up at the front of the field, and the final 2 transfer spots are going to go. Obviously, you see the 2 cars out of action straight away. That 8 machine does end up snagging that final 1, courtesy of some help from a late race restart, but they didn't spoil the opportunity. So the likes of Barker and the 20 and so on and so forth, going to have to deal with the B main tomorrow night.
2 of our top Las Vegas competitors guaranteed into the day feature down tomorrow night.
So we'll be continuing on. We've so far put 6 cars through to the main event.
Would like to keep the 15,000 right here in the state of Nevada.
And we're looking to do some more. As the third heat for the Super Late models should be rolling on track ASAP. So how this works, like we were talking about earlier, is qualifying. The top 8 were automatically entered into the A main event. They didn't have to worry about heats. Everybody was biting their nails trying to make sure they were in the top 8. All others will be racing here in front of us live on low budget TV. And for some of you that are still taking a look in on our Facebook page, that'll come to an end after this heat race. So this is our last look in here from the Bullring. If you like what you see and you want to see some more, as I'm sure some of you NASCAR fans might know a driver in this field, in this heat race. But anyways, if you want to get some more action here from the Bullring, all you got to do, go to www.lowbudget.tv. We got high definition, standard definition, and high quality available for your viewing option. 2-day passes are available tonight. And be sure to log in, www.lowbudget.tv. Evan?
I have good news.
What's the good news?
Scoring is back.
So I wonder if it was just that heat race.
I'm curious when we get the result sheet if it's going to say waiting for data on everybody. But we do have names for the third of our super late model main events, and you were referring to the driver that's going to be in third. But as we look top to bottom, Stan Mullis will start this one from pole in the number 20 machine with 52 of Brittany Zamora topside. And then right there, that number 8 machine, hometown kid Noah Gregson, will start from third with Mitch Klein in the number 4 spot, J.R. Courage in 5th, and Billy Mitchell in the number 6 position. Top to bottom, 15 laps just as before.
Imagine if Noah had to battle through the B main. Here we go. Green flag.
Straight away.
The wild one spins it out.
Klein around right off of the bat. The yellow lights are on. They're still going, though, down the back straightaway. I do promise caution flag is out.
Well, there's video evidence of the flag
Go back
waving.
and check the running order. But and I have good news. We also do have names on results. Heat race number 2, it was Justin Johnson, as we said, who took home the win in that one. Scott Gaffarini coming home second, and the 8B of Brian Grandin came home third. And we're talking about the drivers outside: 34 Kaylee Barker P4, Andy Soul in the 20W P5, and Warren Knipper in the number 6 spot. So the 34, the 20W, and the 49 are going to be the drivers who are dealing with all of the excitement into B main. And we'll take a second look at what happened on this green flag here.
Interesting to see what happened. So it was the number 1 machine. Take a look outside row 2. Gets a stack up there.
I had a bit of help on that one. It looked
Yes,
like the
sir.
outside was itching to go, and we've seen a couple of these races start sooner than others as everybody tries to gain some sort of an advantage here or there, and a little bit of contact and opening lap, so everybody's getting it up right back where they were. That number 1 machine once again on the outside of row number 2, Mitch Klein. We are going to be brought to the green flag, but the 20 is Stanable is green flag in the air. Everybody makes it to the start-finish line.
All right, well, we're better than that last 50 feet.
Quick move to P2. That 8 machine Noah Gregson into a transfer spot and close for third. That's the spot you really got to watch. It's fun to go for the race lead. Gregson's going to challenge Mullis to turn number 1, not get there. With the battle, you have to keep an eye on that bright green 52 is Zamora in with Mitch Klein right there knocking on the doorstep.
We're getting tight there for this 3rd spot. That's Gregson now licking. No, into turn number 1. I thought the one was going to run over the 52.
That's called committing all the way to the inside. It got the spot, so Klein picks up one from Zamora, the 52. Brittany back 2 spots from the start now. And on the outside looking in as we go racing for the lead. Gregson to the inside of Mullis. Side by side, the 8 machine got it. And top in turn number 2. He won, by the way, at the Bullring here just a couple of weeks ago in a super late model. So he's also a local kid familiar with this going in these cars.
And he said, you were here, he did not have an easy victory.
Didn't walk to it, no, and kind of like we saw in that last one, late race caution flag benefited him. He took home the win. He climbed the catch fence right down here in front of us. He would obviously like to find some success tonight at Las Vegas. He had a pretty good showing in the Campbell Road Trucks here not all that long ago. Didn't get the finishing result that he would have liked, so maybe see it this weekend as a little bit of redemption.
Well, the 8's running fast, looking good. And the 1 machine, the driver who had spun out at the very start of this race, is now inside the A main event.
And is second fastest as well on the speed chart. So the 1 machine doing a good job. Zamora's still right there, though. I think it's a little bit of a drop back to the 37 of Courage in P5, but you can definitely see the battle for the transfer spot with the 1 in the 52. It is not heart-pounding at the moment, but it is still plausible. Halfway this time by, still plenty of laps to go.
I'm curious what's going on with the Z1 machine. Billy Mitchell, the professor, is on the roof of this car. We were talking to him in the pit area, Evan, and he said this is a new car to him. A lot of changes and just not comfortable with that Z1 yet.
And he's running at the back right now, P6. We haven't really seen lap traffic be a factor yet tonight. I don't know if Gregson is going to catch up to him before this thing's done. This time by, going to be 5 laps left to go. Challenge for third, though. Here we go. Zamora, I think, wants that spot back. Right to the back of Klein. Not committing yet, but it's got 5 laps to make something happen.
Transfer battle here, folks. Who's going to be in the A main? Who's going to have to go through in the B main? Zamora on the pressure now for the one.
And is really trying to stick that nose out to the inside, about half a lane lower, right to the bumper that time. Maybe a little bit of a push down the back to the inside. So we go for third. Can't get the spot. Still hanging on is the one. Far from over.
And we mentioned this is a 3/8 mile Bullring. Here we go.
Side by side, the fans are up on their feet. To the inside it goes. Zamora again started this race in a transfer spot. Really didn't get going all that well, and we're beating and banging at the line. A lot of smoke and sparks.
Oh my goodness, what a transfer spot
This is
battle.
heat racing, not the feature. This is for third. It's a big deal to not have to go to the B main, but they are going at it. Zamora crossover to the white flag. Nice move. Here we go.
Okay, whose car is going to go on the record? How about that one?
I think both.
Transfer spot battle, and none of these drivers are given an inch.
Checkered flying to Gregson. Ebola's going to come in second in the battle for third out of 4. She's going to hang on. Brittany Zamora in a spirited fight with Mitch Klein for 3 and 4. Will take the transfer spot and kick the 1 to the B main. Everybody got up for that one. That was good.
Oh, that was the most exciting thing we've seen here
I had thought that I was not paying attention to the timing and scoring when they came by the start-finish line, rubbing into each other, thinking that was the checkered flag, and that was still 3 to go.
That was incredible. That was some good racing, and that is going to be the end of our Facebook Live look-in. Hey, man, I'm going to thank the Super Late Models on ending it on that note. So if you want to tune in for the remainder of the weekend, www.lowbudget.tv. We got high definition quality, standard definition quality, and the road in between, the high quality. Folks, I mean to tell you, we're at the Bullring, and this is the Fall Classic, and you're going to see a lot of battles like that continue on with the Super Late Models all weekend long. B-Mains, I think that was just a tail of the tape in that one. So we're going to cut the live look in now, as all the other viewers who are tuning in with us online, lowbudget.tv, will be able to see a full weekend of action. So don't be left in the dust, the digital dust. Another knee slapper. Give me some points on that or no? Rated out of 10.
That was about on par with the first. I'll go 5.
Whoa, 5. You're being really caught. You must work for Monster Jam.
Yeah, well, fan judge.
Oh man! Hey, we gotta show the fans. These fans are going crazy.
And you could see it too when we were watching the cars rubbing on each other, coming by the start-finish line. That everybody was up to watch that one. So now we went from calm, and I think we kind of cranked it up all at once.
Hey,
and now people's blood is pumping.
You're getting some compliments, sir.
Take it.
I mean, you can take it how you may.
Yeah.
You are on Low Budget TV.
As long as we keep it PG, I'll call it a successful night.
Alrighty.
If they want that stream, that's extra, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, who knows? We'll see how the night goes on.
There we go.
Or the weekend.
And again, we saw 2 of the heat races for both of the divisions earlier tonight, but 4th Super Late Model feature, or their heat event coming up, with the top 3 getting locked into the feature and the bottom 3 in this. Going to have to deal with the B-Main. You saw how critical and how much people do not want to deal with that B-Main based on what went down in the last one as we pace behind the Toyota Camry pace car. Top to bottom of this one, Chris Klein will start from up front in that number 14 machine, going to be followed by Braden Heavens in P2, Kayla Eschleman in 3rd, and the number 09, the 88 of Jason Gilbert will start 4th, Charlie Pike, and the 02 is 5th, and the 27R of Grayson Raz in number 6 spot.
Now, he would have started 6 had an engine issue, not on his doing, but someone blew up an engine in practice. And that 27, you can see that oil slick into turn number 3 and 4. And you see these marks here. I've never heard such a loud impact with a Speedway model in a wall in my life. That car is done for the weekend.
And that ties into some of the other cars that had some DNS early on tonight. So 5 going to make it for Heat Race 4. And we'll see if it can live up to the excitement of the last one. It's Havens clear down the back straightaway. Safely P2 is Klein. And Gilbert occupying the number 3 spot for the time being. So we single file out the way we started.
Folks, you did not just see Bigfoot. We are up at the top of the grandstands.
I need a replay on that one.
Yeah, right. Top of the grandstands is where the spotters spot from during the weekend. So that's the people that you'll see intermittently walking up in front of the camera. And trouble for Pike. He's going to be the early winner here tonight. Don't hit the wall. He hit the wall.
Crack the back of the car. They do that when they celebrate these days. Caution's out.
Man. Chad Knaus conspiracy. Or what's that? That was Chad Knaus.
I believe it was.
Yeah.
We had our first car in Victory Lane, though. We haven't seen anybody parked down there yet.
Well, you do see that could have helped the aerodynamics. Kind of got a whale tail going on with Pike. Not sure if Pike realized that the wall was there. I mean, I don't think that section of the wall has ever moved, but
it's the only place on the racetrack that has an inside wall.
Yeah, and he got it.
Yeah.
We've seen that before here at the Bullring.
We have an update from Heat Race 1.
Okay.
The way they came across the start-finish on, it was Huddleston with the win, White, Moore, Vargas, and Trickle. However, Brendan White has been disqualified.
Ooh.
So the revised scoring is Huddleston gets the win, Moore gets second, and that gives Ryan Vargas the 3rd transfer spot into the main event. Chris Trickle ends up in 4th.
Well, that's interesting.
I do not have any more information on what the DQ is, but that is your revised finishing order for Heat Race 1 from earlier on in the night.
So I got to ask you a question.
All right.
Usually Jeffrey is the one that I ask on these things, but you're my...
He bailed on you, no?
He bailed on me.
got
He's
you.
eating cheese curds or whatever those things are.
If he's going cheese, by the way, as a Canadian, I would recommend poutine.
Okay, that's good to know.
Go big or go home.
I've never had poutine, but I've heard it's wonderful.
It is.
What do you feel? This is just a goofy low-budget TV question. What do you feel about the whole word of encumbered? Because would you say
an encumbered win?
Yeah.
I don't think a win can be encumbered. Either you won or you didn't. It's got to be one or the other.
So White was not encumbered. He was disqualified.
Correct. DQ. He's actually scored behind the cars that didn't even start. He got 6th in that one.
I like your style, Evan.
Green flag back out. Short start to this one. 2 laps in, but we are back and rolling. And watching the battle for the top 3 to get into the transfer spots. 83 Michigan Havens nice and clear out front. We are going to have a challenge for second, though. Klein and Gilbert want to fight.
Crossover.
That could bring that driver in 4th into this. They've got to be careful with that. 14 now on the inside.
Seeing a crossover battle here for the 2nd spot.
And Eshelman loves this because sitting in P4, again, you fight for 3rd. You can bring that 09 into this thing. Right there, wasn't able to get to his inside, but definitely in a battle for that transfer spot right now. And all of this, by the way, Haven's gone. He's checked out as all the excitement's behind him. He doesn't mind, though, watching all the fun in the rear view mirror.
Havens checked out like a cheap hotel. 2nd spot is the 14 of Klein, who we've seen have some mixed results here at the Bullring in this Fall Classic. Gilbert in the 3rd spot on the bubble because here comes Kayla with a bumper to the inside looking.
And looked a couple of laps ago. They've single filed out, but the 09 is still right there. Another look to the back bumper at turn number 4. Halfway home in the 15-lap heat race in a great spot to still challenge. Another shot and sideways, got the 88 loose. Still in front, though, Gilbert not giving up.
You can tell there's drivers who would not want to deal with the B main tomorrow, and Kayla is one of them. This is a transfer spot battle. Top 3 go to the A main. All others have to fight through the B. Eshelman again on the bumper in the center of the corner.
And it is no coincidence that the excitement in the heat race before this and in this one is all for that transfer spot. The win, second, it's all worth the same at the end of the day. You're into the main event, but this is the most important spot on the racetrack. Eshelman's still right there looking to the inside. Has challenged a couple times, but can't get that nose in there. As the 88 machine doesn't want to give it up, and now on the inside of turn 4, got it just like that.
Gilbert looks like got a little loose going into turn number 3, and that's all it took. as Usherman was applying the pressure and got the job done. Havens, however, I mean, he is about a full straightaway ahead of second spot.
He's solid up front. Again, the restart really didn't hurt him much. I mean, Chris Klein, even in P2, he's about a good chunk of change, I'd say, behind Havens, but still well out in front of third. So top two doing a good job. I think that mistake by Gilbert, though, is going to be about all that he can afford because Ashley now clean air and out front pulling away. So you got the top three sitting nice and comfy as you see that number 09 coming into the picture down the back straightaway. That's the gap, and it's only growing with the laps winding down. 2 to go next time.
Some good stuff here from the Bullring. Pike does not look like he's got anything going for him in this heat race. He's kind of pretty comfortable back there. So he's going to have to fight through the B main tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's B main will be off of attrition. We've seen it in the past here.
Uncontested, though, turn 4. It is going to be Braden Havens, checkered flag, and the win. Super late model heat race number 4, Chris Klein in second, Kayla Eschlerman in third. And on the outside, headed to the B main tomorrow, Jason Gilbert and Charlie Pike, top 5. Everybody made it through that one, though. You get dicey at times, but everybody's car is still in one piece.
Wow, another great heat race. Super late model. We knew there was going to be some great races tonight. We were right.
So we've now have 20 cars scheduled in tomorrow night's A main event. So the rest of the field for tomorrow night's 150 lap feature will be figured out as of tomorrow night's B main event, unless there is another heat race. But I believe we have the trucks coming up next, though I could be wrong.
Maybe a hamburger or a hot dog or a burrito.
You never know. Schedule would suggest it would be junior late models.
Well, let's take a look here. It's a debut weekend for the junior late models. They are a competitor, or they are a class that normally competes at the Madera Speedway, a very cool 1/3 mile high banked oval, featured on MAV TV. Kenny Shepard and the bunch up there have done a fantastic job on that short track, and the junior late models, a class that have been growing, as well as their premier class, the open late models. And I believe they should be rolling out very soon, if not right this very minute. So I'm going to get ready on the keyboard real quick, because I'm a keyboard cowboy. Thank you.
Can't miss it. Doubled up, coming to the green, just as it was earlier, 10 laps.
Oh, up the track of the 72.
And this racetrack does a good job of staying banked that high in turn 2. You think it would flatten out with a pit lane exit, but it does an okay job, so he's going to be able to maintain third. But Schneider did kind of leapfrog him, so the 93 now second, and a great in third. Challenge is going to be for fourth, the yellow entry on the inside of the racetrack, to make something happen. As Sargent right in the middle of that too.
Battle for the lead right now. You can see them going off into turn number 1, the 89. He was starting to spark. He was starting to get sideways, but he'll slip back to the second spot.
I don't think you wanted to be that high up the racetrack. At about a car length down to the bottom, and sideways again that time. But in turn 4 might open up the door for the great number 72 machine. He'll look to the inside once more. I think the 89 a little bit more composed this time, and 2 is going to be able to challenge him back, but outside not the place to be. He may fall all the way to third before it's done, and even more because that 48 of Sargent's right there. He wants to join the party and get to the inside.
Almost a 3-wide battle if they scooted up a little bit more. I believe your winner of his first heat of the night, the 11, working his way through up to fourth, now looking for third.
And peeking at the inside, there by the time he gets to the start-finish line. So just trying to maybe complete that move as the woes continue for Cooper topside, and it is going to go in favor of the 11 of Cornell, who takes over third for the time being. All that behind Schneider, still P1, DeGreat in third. And rather in second in front of all of that, but even the 72's not safe, because at 11, we know he has a fast car based on what happened earlier, but he is moving up to second with a little bit less than halfway. Can he get that little bit more up to the lead?
Good stuff, good climb, and I love that invert. Right now, the driver who has been shining bright in this one, the 93, in the lead. He's led every lap this race so far.
11's coming. Should be 2 laps to go this time by. If he makes up the same amount of time he did the last lap, he may just have a shot at this thing, but he is not going to give up as Schneider just wants this one to get over with. Car length and a half now for the lead.
It's ticking away. White flag's out. Do you think he'll get it on this lap?
He might have to use a bumper. We'll see if he's willing to commit to that. He enters turn 1 a little bit higher, drops down to the inside. It's a big gap to make up down the back straightaway for the 11 at Court Canal to turn 3. And it is not going to be enough by the end of it all. And Neil Schneider going to be able to get the job done. Checkered flag.
Good battle there for the 3rd spot, picking up right at the tail of that heat
Side by
race.
side for 5th, too, with Cooper just barely edging out Cunningham. 3 sets of 2x2, not bad.
So here comes the second group of super stocks rolling back on track. Fun to see these Camaros, a staple, I believe, of short track racing. I believe, you know, there's people who come only to see super late models. There's people who come only to see name your division. But I believe that at tracks where the super stocks can shine, that is your... I feel like those are the tracks that are doing pretty good, because not only are the super stocks a entry-level class for the ones who are trying to get into racing, but also they're a division where they're also in a division where you are a veteran and maybe don't have the money to move up, maybe you don't have the resources or anything else. And as long as the super stock class is healthy, in my book, you have a good running racetrack.
And I'd put this right up next to the Bombers as well for some of the most fun stuff as well.
Exactly.
And it is going to be inverted from what we saw earlier tonight. So Kevin James in that 83 machine going to be on pole position for this one, joined on the front row by the 13X of Jim Merlino. Back at row number 2 inside, the number 77 of Michael Nix, with Howard Holden outside in the 41. And on the back, the fastest cars from the earlier one tonight, the 43 of Justin Kaiser will start 5th. The guy who took home the checkered flag, the 38 of Johnny Spilatro in P6. The last driver was fast, was able to get all the way up to P2. Can the guys in the back row get up from this one? 10 laps.
Here we go. We got an orange show driver and a 13 machine from Vegas on the front row. I don't know what that sentence meant, but I said it.
It's words. That's the objective at the end of the day. Lot going on 3rd and 4th. There's that 43 of Kaiser. Got a really good jump, and as Spilatro tries to play catch-up, the 43 is the one who's making the moves. Up to 3rd, just like that, with only 1 lap behind him. That's good.
Well, I tell you who's on the move, the 43 machine of Kaiser. He's already taken a look on the inside of Nix going into turn number 3. So I think he's trying to pick up where he left off.
And 77 in no rush of letting him through. 43 probably had positioning in 3, didn't give it to him. Now they'll go side by side for the number 2 spot, and cleanly again on the inside. The 43 hustling after finishing 2nd in that first one. Back up to P2 right now with the sight set on Kevin James up front.
Oh, Nix overcooked it into turn number 3. Lost a lot of time as a result. Now here comes the 41. I thought he was going to make a move to the inside. There he goes.
Holden to the inside. The number 38 machine kind of stuck in traffic behind that side by side. It might try to jump on the 77 if that 44 can complete the pass, but side by side for the race lead. And 43 at Justin Kaiser, just too quick. We're only 4 laps complete at a 3/8 of a mile Bullring, and he has already gone bottom to top. He takes over the race lead.
So I think he's here to shine this weekend.
I don't think he's messing around.
No.
He's looking for some hardware today.
Lacho now taking a peek around Nick's in the 77. Johnny has not been on a move as his road teammate starter, if you will, is sliced through the field.
And Kaiser had a lot of help in this as well because he got going so good on the jump. Again, on that first lap, he got basically 2 spots with one swing of the bat, got right into third. But even after that, the 38 again just hasn't had that raw speed. He's going to be able to get around the 77 of Michael Nick, so he will jump up to P4, clear at that time at turn number 4, but not going to be able to get back up to where he was earlier tonight.
Holden now working on the 83 of James.
Battle for second, well behind the 43.
Now he's looking to the inside. No, he's not.
Well, that 83's line leaves that inside wide open, so I think he's trying to drive it in there. You can see just how much he closes in on quarter entry, getting a lot harder on brakes. White flag in the air. One more time to try it.
I was going to move away from it, but how could you?
Here we go, side by side. Checker's going to go to Kaiser at a turn number 4, but this is the fight for second. The 83 at James, top side, Holden on the inside of the racetrack. Close, but no cigar. Will maintain the running order. James P2 and Holden P3 all the way down to the end of that one.
Nice work for Holden. I mean, he tried, but James, like you said, I think that was the difference of 2 lanes. Holden might have been using the gas and the brakes a little bit more, whereas the 83 of James was using finesse through the corners and using that momentum, if you will, to get through the corners here at the Bullring. So, you mentioned that you do some iRacing. This track has been scanned and is now in the simulation.
And I am garbage at this track on the simulation.
I've never tried this
now,
track.
I'm not going to claim to be good in general on the
Yeah.
sim. There are people that are much better than me. That's why I don't race on the sim. I talk like I know what I'm talking about. But no, I'm not very good here on the sim, but it's a fun track, and there's tons of short track stuff on iRacing. So I know a lot of guys who race here who were talking about being local people out here in Vegas. They're on iRacing all the time, and it's fun.
I think the interesting thing about this track, which I'd love to try on iRacing, is that it's so weird being at a track, on a short track, where you have to ease into turns number 1, hammer it, center of the corner, all the way to turn number 3, and that is where it really gets tricky because you can't carry the speed out of turn number 4 as you could out of turn number 2. Completely different straightaways, completely different corners. Turn number 4 is where you'll see tomorrow night a lot of drivers bite the front straightaway wall because they're on it too soon.
And that's because this track's backwards. I mean, if you have the D-shaped tri-oval, if you want to call it that, on the front stretch, you kind of there's a preconceived notion in your mind just because it's like that more times than not out at the racetrack. But you know that at turn 4, you carry a little bit more speed because it's not as hard of a turn off. But because that's on the back straightaway here, it does get tight in turn 4. And I'd say that just based on the couple of incidents and close calls we've seen tonight, turn 4 so far is really a place to keep an eye on. All kinds of folks getting out of shape on restarts and the green flag racing and everything.
It's a fun track. It's a fun spectator track because there's a lot to watch. And like tomorrow night's 150 super late model race, cars all over the track, a lot of battles throughout the field, and hey, we do use bumpers here. That's no surprise.
We've been using them tonight.
That's right. We've seen midgets use bumpers.
Yeah. So they're setting the bar.
Literally. They're using the bar.
That was a good one. That
was good.
I'll take credit for it. It was not intentional, but I'll appreciate you pointing it out.
If you gave me a 5, then I'll give you a 7, maybe an 8. I
feel like if I meant it, it would have been an 8. That was. I mean,
there you go.
You take it how it comes. But
well, hey, you live and learn. All these opportunities I want to really run down and mess with our front straightaway camera, but as soon as I say that, here comes the junior late models. Capitalize R when it doesn't need to. JR late model heats. shall be. And watch this, folks. By a click of a button, I can change your minds. Boom.